What's shaking, people? It's your boy Doomkiller HD. Sit back and relax. You are now rocking with the best. Let's go! It's the weekly wrap up where we give you the news. Break it down bite size so it's easier to consume. Discussing the hottest game and thought of what's coming soon. Is it real or is rumor? Homie, that's up to you. Fire or trash reaction. Live viewers call in. No cap conversation. We going all in. It's the weekly wrap up, so enjoy the show. You're now rocking with the best. Let the good times roll. Come on. What's shaking, people? It's your boy Doomkiller HD back with another episode of the weekly wrap up. Sit back and relax. You are now rocking with the best. And this week we've got a ton of topics to talk about. So let me go ahead and bring my co-host to the damn screen. What's good with it, my dude? J Coon Prime.
What up?
Not much, dog. Not much, dog. It's a hot Sunday, so we're gonna keep it hot on the stream. You know what I mean?
Oh
yeah. This week we are talking Final Fantasy, Secret Invasion, Spider-Man 2 Collector's Edition, a little bit of MK1 because I saw you killing it yesterday, and The Flash and how poorly it did. But let's bring on our guest for tonight, and that is my homeboy King Greek. What's good?
I missed a joke here somewhere.
I don't even know where to go with that. What's good with it, my dude? How you doing, Greek?
I didn't realize my mic was muted. Hello, hi everybody.
It happens. It happens to the best of us, my dude. No worries. But first question we always got: what's good with it, Naba? What's good with it, Sadai? What's good with it? Oh, Father. Hopefully y'all all doing well. But y'all know how this starts off. I have to ask the same question that I ask every week, and that question is: what video games have you played this week? And I'll start with you, Mr. King Greek.
So far I would say Diablo, Fortnite, and I recently jumped back into the Croy as I'm playing through it with a friend of mine.
Okay. What games have you been playing this week, my dude, Mr. J. Coon Prime?
We've once again been hacking through the backlog and doing single player adventures. We tore through Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions and Spider-Man Edge of Time being emulated on the PS3 PC emulator, so running at a glorious 60 frames a second. It was beautiful.
Those are great games.
Yeah, oh yeah. Played some Fortnite, played some Destiny, and then of course I was one of the lucky few that got selected for the online stress test for Mortal Kombat 1, and I've been playing that for the past 2 days.
Crazy, and more crazy. Me personally, a little bit of Diablo, a little bit of Overwatch 2, a little bit of Fortnite. It's been a pretty good week as far as gaming, as far as I'm concerned. I had some. I did a little stream. The homie Greek joined me for Overwatch 2 and Diablo. We got more wins than losses, so I mean that's all you can really hope for when you playing PvP. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it.
Oh yeah, I promised Navaflow I would do this. I'm gonna get a candy bar from the Spider-Man Shattered Dimension level where you have to fight Deadpool.
Oh wow! And okay, let's do this like this, and we're gonna bring in our final guest of the night, Mr. Sadat La Gamer. What's good with it, sir?
Bro, where's my intro? What's going on?
Bro, I have not had your intro for a while. Ever since I changed my whole thing, I gotta re-download the damn thing, bro. I really do, and I apologize about that. But how are you doing, sir?
I'd be doing a lot better with my intro, but you know, other than that,
I mean, I wore this in your honor. Is this not good enough?
no, actually,
Oh. Damn.
I need special treatment.
Oh my gosh, this man see me. Anyways, what games have you played this week, Mr. Sadat the Gamer?
Well, before I just got on, I was playing some Dead Island 2, so I almost didn't accept the invite link, but figured I already committed to it, so might as well show up. Might as well show up. I can play that later. I did a Spider-Man I've been doing Spider-Man Remastered. I'm planning on just going through Miles Morales and Spider-Man Remastered to just kind of keep the hype going, for Spider-Man 2, and it's doing great as expected. It's Spider-Man. The hype is pretty real right now. Square Enix also sent me Final Fantasy 16 early, so I was playing that for a while and loving it. I'm all here for Medieval Devil May Cry. That's what I'm all about it. Hope we see hope we see more.
Bruh, you've been playing some stuff, dog. Golly, you got a lot of time on your hands, sir, because that's a lot of gaming. That is a lot of gaming.
Is it? Is it? Well, you
No
sound
more
old.
than me.
You sound old. I also play
old.
I also play 2K23 for fun. I like to do offline my team stuff.
Why would you do that?
Because it's fun playing offline. When especially during the off season, I can do the new roster changes. I do the trades, and I just do it's basically like a My GM. You run your own team. You don't have to play online against toxic people with walkie-talkie mics, and it's fun.
I do that on wrestling. It's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, my career is trash. Plus, my GM is free. You don't have to pay $200 just to increase your jump shot.
So that's why people are actually looking like Steph Curry out there with their players at 99 and whatnot. They actually paying to win. Okay.
Literally, I mean, to be fair, you can't do anything else. That they literally designed my career that you have to pay.
Wow.
So,
now you can do my career if you don't want to pay. Just know it's probably gonna take you the entirety of the year just to get tonight.
For one bill.
Yeah,
for
one beer. By the time you get that bill maxed out, the next game will be released.
Wow.
And your build might not even be optimal because 2K might update the game and patch some stuff, and then there's seasons, so they add new animations. It's nonsense. I stay far away from it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I finished. They sent me the Forspoken DLC too. I forgot about that. I was playing. They sent me a Forspoken DLC, so I was playing. So I finished that as well.
Okay,
I won't even lie. I forgot that game came out.
Hey, it's Fate Walker.
Yes, it is. Fate Walker is in the building. Let's get right on into the show. The Flash, the DC movie, The Flash.
Oof.
Do DC fans hate DC? And I'm gonna start with you, Fire Guy Jake Bryant.
We've been burned too many times. That's all I can really say is we've been burned too many times. That the whole thing around Ezra Miller did not help this movie at all. And then on top of that, this movie was in production hell for so long that at that point we were just kind of like, it'll come out when it comes out, but we're not going to expect much at this point. And then, of course, the same thing that happened to Shazam happened to this. And I am terribly afraid it's going to happen to Blue Beetle as well. James Gunn announced that he's wiping the slate clean. So none of this is going to go anywhere. So we don't have much reason to care now.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Jake, King Greek, do DC fans hate DC?
If they didn't hate DC before, they definitely hate it now. And the reason why I say that is because if no one else has seen the recent clip of Kevin Smith talking about the Flash, the whole stigma behind why the Flash is doing well and then bringing Keaton back, there was a Batman Beyond movie that was planned in the works with Keaton returning if the Flash did well. And based on how the Flash did, that Batman Beyond movie is never happening.
Which is even more disappointing.
So not only was the Flash just not a great movie, they also just for some reason decided to bank the whole possibility of Batman Beyond off this movie, which it's something people have been asking for years. It was a giant fu to the fans. So it's another reason for them to just not be happy. Like DC is really the darker out of is really the darker company out of DC and Marvel because nobody can be happy in DC.
But
Nobody can
it's
ever be
really a
happy.
damn shame because like if you've seen the movie, Keaton stole the show. Like he straight up did, and based off box office sales, you're thinking that Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne isn't gonna sell. Like this
Yeah,
isn't his movie.
No,
Like
the Batman Beyond movie would be sick.
yeah,
There were three main reasons people saw this movie. They wanted to see if it was going to be bad. They wanted to simp for Supergirl, which I understand, and it was for Michael Keaton.
Okay. So Dr. Gamer, your thoughts? Do DC fans hate DC?
Not at all. I think the and I don't even think the whole James Gunn announcing the slate was just basically getting rebooted and none of these canonically matter. I don't think anyone. I think realistically, most people don't care at all. We've seen in the past DC's most successful movies had nothing to do with a large cinematic universe. They were contained in their own. The Matt Reeves Batman, the Nolan Batman, the Joker, sensing a trend here. But you can people if the movie is good, people will see it. It's really that simple. When you get down to the basics of it, if you make a good movie, people will come to see that movie, and they will tell other people, "Hey, this movie is good. You should also go see that movie." That's how it works. But Hollywood has seemed to lost track of all this, and The Flash had all of that working against it. It was there. You ask different fans, they'll have different responses. Some people were just straight up boycotting it because of Ezra Miller, which understandable. Some people were boycotting it because of the way they pretty much disrespected Henry Cavill, especially now that more and more information is coming out, and it seems like James Gunn was capping pretty hard, and not just about The Flash being one of the greatest superhero movies of all time, but about the way the whole Henry Cavill thing went down. We found out that actually you did fire him because they had a sequel being made and you scrapped it because you wanted to do your own thing. You could have made it an Elseworlds thing like you did for all the other projects, but you're like, nah, fuck Henry Cavill in particular. That's why you also cut him out of The Flash, and you cut him out. Yes, he was supposed to be actually in it. He was in the. They had multiple endings, and post-credit scenes, but they ended up just cutting Henry Cavill out of everything, but make sure Wonder Woman got her one cameo. They cut him out of Shazam. So it's very clear that the initial report from that one content creator that said that James Gunn just hated Henry Cavill personally was absolutely true. That's why James Gunn got so triggered that he responded to the dude on Twitter because everyone knew it was true. He knew it was true. He just didn't want it out there because he wanted to make this transition clean. But it is what it is. You didn't like Henry Cavill as a big draw. You hated that, and now you have some portion of the fan base that are just like, we don't care about any of this. we're just straight up not going to support it. And worst of all, it wasn't just that the movie was bad. Obviously it was, but they made what much worse. But it was the fact that it was the expectations. When you have all these paid chills saying this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. This is one of the greatest superhero movies ever made. James Gunn, who's got some cred because of Guardians of the Galaxy. One of the best superhero movies ever made. My favorite movie of 2023. And then you okay. And
ignoring the fact that that's the only movie he saw in 2023.
Had to have been. I mean, unless the only other movie he saw was Quantumania. that was definitely a cap to the highest degree. So people went to see it. Thinking James Gunn, all right, maybe James Gunn might be onto something. We got Keaton Batman. The trailer looked okay. Maybe Supergirl looking a lot better than we thought. And then you see it, and it's just shit. Just exactly what you thought it was going. Exactly what we expected at this point. Bloated, over budget. It definitely didn't help that the multiverse concept is kind of played out, and which is funny because they actually had this plan before Marvel even did the multiverse in their MCU, but it just took so long that it just became dated. But even then, it Across the Spider-Verse showed it doesn't matter if you have a dated concept. Most story concepts are dated. It's can you execute it? Can you make it interesting? Can you make it good? And they didn't. it was a mid at best movie, and it had war crime levels of CGI. And now, they had a stupid post credit scene. They cut Henry Cavill out of it. There was no reason for people to support this movie whatsoever, and it absolutely deserves to be one of the biggest financial disasters since the Great Depression.
And then on top of that, like, I think one of the biggest reasons that we're also getting so upset is the fact that we've seen a DC cinematic universe done incredibly well thanks to the animated division.
Absolutely.
Like,
I've got a question for this panel.
Off a little bit, but
I've got a serious question for this panel. Listening to you three, I've not seen y'all. Everybody who knows me knows that DC, as far as DC goes, The Flash is my favorite character. I've still not seen the movie yet because it just does not look enticing to me. It doesn't look like a great movie. I'm just keeping it 100.
Trust me, it's not.
But is the DCU, not the DCEU, the DCU, James Gunn's DCU, is it dead before it even starts? And I'm gonna start with you, Jay Kuhn.
No, because predicting that it's going to be dead on arrival is just foolish thinking, in my opinion. Because we've seen Gunn hit homer after homer, his opinion notwithstanding. Like, remember when the internet tried to cancel him several times? They still went to go see his movies.
Except for the Suicide Squad.
I saw that.
I did, but a lot of people did.
Well, the first
it was
movie
actually a really good damn movie.
It was, which is unfortunate. It was actually good. He actually deserved
the Suicide Squad was actually pretty good. But no, I don't really think it's going to be dead on arrival. As much as I agree with virtually everything Sadat just said, I'm still going to sit here and say In Gunn We Trust, because his portfolio speaks for itself right now.
Okay, I'm gonna roll with you on that one. My dude, King Greek, what are you thinking, bro? Dead on arrival or soaring to the skies?
I would say no, because it's like J. Kuhn said, within in Gunn We Trust. Out of all of the superhero projects that he's done so far, realistically, there's not really a single superhero project anybody can say that Gunn just completely screwed up or was horrible. We haven't seen anything from the new DC universe is going to be coming. So you realistically can't sit here and say, "Oh, it's going to be horrible, it's going to fail, it's going to die, this and that." If you do say it, I feel like you're a Snyder fanboy that's upset because you're not getting any more Snyder movies. And I hope they never get another movie because Snyder fans don't know how to act. But
man, kiss my ass.
You are in the very small percentage of Snyder fans that have common sense.
I have earned my right to be upset more than anyone because I am still to this day a Green Lantern devotee. And he was at least going to attempt to bring them in before Warner Brothers said no.
See, and that's why.
The Snyder Cut was mid.
Snyder Cut was definitely mid. And there's nothing in this world that can make me forgive him mixing Dark Knight Returns and Death of Superman into one big story, and then you put the most important one of the two in the past 30 minutes. It was horrible. But no,
I actually enjoyed Snyder Cut a lot more than 2017 Justice League, but both of those movies still didn't really do anything for me.
Are they the pinnacle of cinema? By no means, but it definitely took a big steaming crap on the Whedon Cut.
Let's be honest. All the Snyder Cut did was add an extra 2 hours of runtime and more shirtless slow motion Jason Momoa shots and just
I mean,
desaturated.
you didn't enjoy that?
No,
And
it did.
desaturated. And they
It did do one more thing.
took out the one-liners and desaturated everything.
Wait, no, it did. No, it did do one more thing. It actually fleshed out Cyborg and Flash as characters in a much more meaningful way. I will give that movie that. If it wasn't for those two, that movie would be the same as the original version.
I mean, I would hope with a 4-hour runtime,
there better be able to flesh out story.
But no, I mean, hey, sometimes directors do dumb things. It is what it is. But no, I don't think.
Jesus Christ! Somebody get this man an editor.
I don't think the DC universe is done. I don't think it's dead on arrival.
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. Next question is
I didn't
Flash.
I didn't get the answer. I didn't get the answer yet.
I thought
That's true. Yeah, he didn't.
Oh shit! I mean, shucks. Sorry, my bad, bro. Go ahead, do your thing. Snyder, the hater.
That's damn right. Zack Snyder would have done a great Batman movie. He was not right for Justice League or Superman. These are facts.
I will still say Man of Steel is good. I will still say that.
He's good at dark. He's good at dark and brooding. He's not good at anything else. But anyway, I think
the made him perfect for DC.
I think the DCU is.
He's not good at bright colors.
Yes, he's not. I think
not even remotely.
Man, let this man
You had
answer
that problem
this
with
question.
Son dead. You kidding me?
or cutting out filler. But
I mean, hell, look. Well, I blame 300 for that because he had to make fillers for the sake of runtime for that movie.
He didn't have to do it for the Snyder Cut, but he did it anyway.
I'm just saying that's where the problem started.
Yeah, but I think the DCU is on life support, and it's not because of people necessarily not believing in James Gunn's vision. Some of the stuff he announced generally sounded good. Some of it sounded awful, but I think they underestimated how badly their movies were going to do before we got to the DCU. Like, remember, Superman Legacy doesn't come out until 2025, and they figured, okay, we're going to just release the stuff we have. You know, we got a bunch of stuff from the old regime, so we'll just bang out. We got over the Black Adam bomb, so all right, let's throw out Shazam. Let's get out Shazam 2. Let's get that out there. We're definitely going to make some money on the Flash. We can make some money on Aquaman. We got Blue Beetle, could be nice. And they've so far been catastrophic failures to the point where Warner Brothers is selling off assets and looking to get more into licensing again because obviously Max isn't bringing in enough revenue. So this puts and I'm predicting right now Blue Beetle and Aquaman are going to flop, and this is going to put a lot of pressure on Superman Legacy. There was already a lot of pressure because of all the Snyder fans, and people were like, okay, you cut Henry Cavill. Let's see if you made the right call here. Let's see what James Gunn's got, because if Superman Legacy fails, that would be the death blow to the entire DCU. Fair or not, because of all the buildup, all the hype, because it's James Gunn himself doing this, so there's no excuses. And because of all the giant financial flops that the DC has had, I think that there's going to be a lot more scrutiny than normal on this. Normally, but if the movies had done well, like The Flash had made money, Shazam 2 was never going to make money. That was absolute dog shit. But if The Flash had made money, if the rest of these had made money, then they would be like, okay, well, at least we got some wiggle room here, you know. The only pressure would be from the Snyder occultists who are going to hate it no matter what. But now it's like, now you got the fans waiting to see, okay, does James Gunn know what he's doing? And you have the executives, you know, this Zaslav up there like, okay, well, we can't take another flop here, because I mean, having three major $100 million movies flop in a row is enough to sink most studios. And
let alone 2 cinematic universes.
Yeah, DC is on a heater now. Black Adam, Shazam 2, now The Flash, which reportedly is way more expensive than is even reported, and that reported budget was 250. It's 250 mil. So if Aquaman 2 flops after the first one did a bill and Blue Beetle flops, I mean that's a whole year of just catastrophic tanking for their multi-million dollar, $100 million superhero projects.
Right. Okay. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I need to ask you personally this question, and then everybody else can answer, because you killing it right now, and you got my brain doing some thinking. Do you think that the next movies, which are what, Blue Beetle
and
Aquaman 2, you think they should go directly to release on Max to just save face, or you think they may be able to put a little dent in something as far as numbers concerned?
I think Blue Beetle absolutely should have never had a planned theatrical release, but it might be too late. Aquaman 2, you had no choice. You have to throw that out there because the first one did do a bill, so you just have to put that out. You just have to have to take that risk. Blue Beetle has zero chance of making $1 billion, so I would definitely have thrown that on Max. But they're going to try to see what they could do here. Hopefully, I don't know what the budget is for that one. Maybe if that one doesn't have a huge budget, then maybe if that doesn't do crazy, they can like, okay, that wasn't too bad. But when you spend that much money, it's a problem. It's a problem. And like at this point, if Superman Legacy doesn't make Superman Legacy bare minimum has to make $800 million. Bare minimum. And if it does that for his full run, even that's going to be considered a disappointment. Because that's not even I'm thinking that's around Man of Steel numbers. Let me double check the Man of Steel box office, because that's what it's going to give compared to. Yeah, it grossed $668 million worldwide. That was a Man of Steel.
Zack Snyder, so if it doesn't at least double that, it's going to be considered a failure.
It's going to be considered a failure if it only hits $708 million and Man of Steel did 668. It's going to be considered a failure. It's to be considered a success, or to at least silence the haters. Has to do $1 billion. If it doesn't do $1 billion, James Gunn's going to hear about it. And if it does less than Man of Steel, then I think Zaslow, like, we're going to have to revisit some of this. Let me see. I know you had these plans for Gods and Monsters, but yeah, we're bleeding muddy here, buddy. So we got that Supergirl movie. Get it out of there. That
girl movie.
and once again, my hopes of seeing anything Green Lantern just immediately lopped off at the knees.
Maybe they greenlight the Green Lantern thing because it's a show, but that's really just going to be True Detective, because they're not even going to be in space. They're just going to literally just be walking around Texas.
Yeah,
doing the Rangers going to be flashing.
Like we ain't got budget for shit.
Like it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad if Superman Legacy flops. Holy, it's going to be bad. That's the end. It's not fair, but if it doesn't do $1 billion, it's going to be an issue.
Yo, that's crazy. Okay, next question. Oh, actually, you answered that question. King Greek is do you think these movies, the next 2 movies, should go straight to what do you call it?
Max
straight
now.
to Max, yeah.
What are the next 2 again? I know it's Blue Beetle.
Aquaman 2 and Blue Beetle.
Only reason why I would say Aquaman shouldn't go straight to Max is because the first Aquaman is one of the better DC movies we've had out of the past saga. So I feel like that one might have a much better chance of doing very solid than Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle, I would have been fine with that being a HBO Max. Wasn't the Suicide Squad a HBO Max only release?
It was
It went to.
it was simultaneous.
Yeah.
release.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, because of COVID.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't-
okay.
I feel like I put it this way: Blue Beetle, I'm more than fine with that going straight to Max. Aquaman, however, I don't think that one should go to Max.
They spent way too much money on that for that to go to me.
Yeah,
See, that's the thing though. Didn't they not spend a lot of money on the original movie and they did a bill? They didn't go crazy with CGI and all of that, right? From what I could
Did you
Oh,
not
no,
see
that was-
Ocean Master's
Oh.
face?
That was a lot of CGI in that one.
plus they did well, so you know they got a bigger budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
That movie should have came out last year then, because they tripping, bro. Like,
200 Yeah, the first one had a $205 million budget.
oh wow, I didn't know that. It didn't look like. Oh, never mind. J. Cool, straight to Max, or give him these shine in the theaters, bro.
I say it would have been way too late at this point to put Blue Beetle on Max. Although initially, when the announcement first happened, if they said it was going straight to Max, I think that would have been a good play. Just simply out of the fact that like not a lot of people know about Blue Beetle. So
Right.
that's already got one big thing working against it when it comes to going to the movies. Secondly, the suit does not look the best, but I can work with it. But not everybody is me. Aquaman had like it would have been a detriment if it went straight to Max. I agree with Scott. It needs to go to the theater because the first one made so much.
This was the next question for me because I'm actually not caught up on DC EU or DCU at this point because I have not enjoyed the movies. So, good question. Is Blue Beetle gonna be part of the new DCU or is it still in that whole DCEU family?
I think
it's DCU. James Gunn confirmed it.
Okay, so it is DCU.
Yes, it's part of it's the first. Aquaman is the order is weird, but yeah, the Flash reboots everything. Even though if you actually watch the ending, it didn't reboot shit. But
yeah, it really didn't. If anything, he I will
technically,
give James Gunn credit this because I made this joke for a very long time that James Gunn taking control was basically a big middle finger to Ezra Miller, going, "Enjoy being the Flash because you will never be him again after this." And the ending of the Flash basically nailed the coffin shut.
Yeah, it was a good joke, but I'm like, yeah, this is literally a joke. So we're at the end of that. But he did confirm, yeah, Aquaman 2 technically is part of the rebooted, so it's out of there. That doesn't matter, even though, well, we'll get into that. But Blue Beetle is technically, even though it's not the first DCU project, he's the first DCU character.
That's a weird character to start a universe on, but at the same time,
it definitely wasn't.
Iron Man.
It definitely wasn't intentional.
Iron Man.
It definitely wasn't intentional.
Yeah, like it's a stroke of luck thing because, like, if you really think about it, this is not the first time DC pulled this stunt. Green Lantern was supposed to be the start of a big cinematic universe. They were taking a play once again.
The Ryan Reynolds one?
Yes, that was supposed to be the kickoff. They were going to take a lesser known hero because when they did Iron Man, let's be fair, he was kind of a B-string hero at the time. Right. And they just put a damn good crew behind him and made something fantastic. Something, unfortunately, that did not happen with the Green Lantern movie.
Have y'all rewatched that movie lately, Green Lantern?
Lately,
yeah.
No.
It's not a bad movie at all. Like it was
dog shit.
It's not, bro. It's really not. It's just before its time, and the villain was dumb. The Cloud villain was dumb.
I don't think it's a good movie. I think Ryan Reynolds is just a really charismatic actor.
He did what he could,
and you and it's easy. It's just easy. It's the Ryan Reynolds effect. No matter how mid everything is around him, you'll still enjoy it as long as he's getting a lot of screen time. Like Red Notice. That Red Notice stuff
with the Rock and
the Rock, yeah, that's not a good movie by any means, but it's got a lot of Ryan Reynolds in it, and him and the Rock play off each other. Gal Gadot is being hot. It's charming. It's interesting. It's not a good script, but it's fun. But it's fun to enjoy.
Correction.
look at it-
I just
look-
said it wasn't that bad. I did not say Green Lantern was good at all.
that-
I
hey,
said
no,
it
no,
wasn't
no.
horrible. It's
Dude,
not.
look at it this way. You technically watched the Fantastic Four version of Green Lantern because both
Right.
final villains of the movie ended
Would
up
be
being the
clouds.
pointless cloud.
Here's
Clouds,
the
yeah.
problem with the Green Lantern movie. It was mishandled from the start. It was in production hell, just like the Flash was. You had one hell of a cast surrounding everything. You had Michael Clark Duncan as Kilowog. You had Jeffrey Rush, Captain Barbossa from Pirates of the Caribbean being Tomar Ray. You had Mark Strong, Merlin from the Kingsmen being Sinestro. Amanda Waller was Angela Bassett, for God's sake. That's who she was. That was Amanda Waller in the Green Lantern film.
Wait, she was there? What?
Yes, for the whole rollicking 2 minutes. The problem was, you would have made such a better movie if you had just taken him off Earth and left him off Earth. It's worked before. It's called Green Lantern First Flight. Focus on the intergalactic space cop part, and you would have had something great. But you take someone who was a Galactus level threat like Parallax, which when he possessed Hal Jordan, allowed Hal Jordan to literally punch Superman through a sun, and you turned him into a giant fart cloud.
Yo,
The embodiment of fear was a giant fart cloud with a face.
To be fair, the fart cloud was the sky beam before the sky beam.
we're not doing no. You know what?
Everybody,
we're going to commercial.
That's
Nope,
what
nope.
we got. All right, this movie's almost perfect, but you got to have a fart cloud. All the big movies are doing it. All the big superhero movies are doing it.
Not the fart cloud. We go to commercial. Then we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk to Sadat's new favorite TV show, which is Secret Wars.
FinancialFelons.com is where you can find the latest and exclusive DSG gear from Fire, Trash, Excelsior Now, DSG Team Gear, and more. That's www.financialfelons.com. Make sure to use code DOOM for 15% off. That's code DOOM for 15% off. This is your DSG brand ambassador spring, and you know the motto, let the good times roll.
I said Secret Wars, but y'all know I meant Secret Damn Invasion. Y'all know this already,
Bro.
man. But anyway, let's get right on into it.
Fumble the joke. Terrible.
All right, J Shock Blast. Anyway, like we were saying before I was rude. Let's
Viewership
go on into the
dropped
Secret
40%
Invasion.
for those 3 seconds.
Bruh, for real. You know how my algorithm just anyway. Getting past the intro. Can I mean, is anybody really on this panel bothered by the Secret Invasion intro? For real, like all jokes aside.
No.
Start with you, J. Coon Prime.
No, not at all.
Okay, King
What is
Greek.
there to be upset over?
King Greek.
All right, so I'm a little stupid. Y'all know this. It didn't even register that it was AI to me when I first saw it. It was like, okay, that's the intro. I was more interested in the show than the intro. I didn't really give a damn about it. Clearly, there's a lot of people that have an issue with it, but it is what it is.
Sadat the Game. I'm gonna ask you the same question. Can you get past the intro? Was it really that big of a deal for you?
I did a live watch party at 3 a.m. I got past it just fine. I'm not. There's you can have. There's a moral, potentially ethical conversation to be had about the future of artists in the industry, where thanks to AI they can technically just completely cut out creatives for the most part, and it'll save them a lot of money. Obviously, that's the intention. It was they try to give you some nonsense artistic. Oh, it fit the artistic vision. No, it didn't. You didn't have much of a budget, and they were like, hey, if we use AI, we don't have to pay anyone to make this intro, and it's going to be much faster. All right, let's see what it is. I mean, that kind of just shows you just the level of quality they were doing before that most people didn't even notice that it was AI generated. They're just like, yeah, this is okay. But I know there are a bunch of people who make hating AI art their entire personality. So
You've been through that. You've been through that.
So just despite those weirdos, I'm all for it. Please do more AI. Marvel, please double down on it.
You can't take a personal situation.
make the entire fourth episode completely AI generated actors. Just
entirety of Loki season 2, all AI generated.
Just AI.
Have y'all seen the new Black Mirror yet? With the whole AI generated show?
Yes. I watched the new season. Great season of Black Mirror, by the way. I like that they didn't just
stick to the sci-fi.
They limit themselves to horror sci-fi. They're like, no, we're just going to straight up do magic in some episodes.
The Demon 79 episode. I thought that was like one of the greatest things I'd ever seen. Like
that was a fantastic episode. That was just a fantastic episode.
But anyway, let's get back to Secret Invasion. We're talking about this AI. For me, I watched the intro.
By the way, that tells you everything about Secret Invasion, that we're having much more fun talking about another science fiction show. This shit.
I like Secret Invasion. It was good. I didn't care about the intro. Like, I didn't know it was AI when I watched it. I was like, okay, they're trying to blend. This is what I took from the intro. They're trying to blend Skrull technology with humans so they can actually physically show you what it looks like to be taken over. Like the little ugly picture of Nick Fury when he's got like one green ear that's pointy and his face is all kind of melted at the bottom and whatnot. I didn't realize it was AI at that point in the TV show. I didn't care.
They definitely didn't use Midjourney. They were on that Stable Diffusion.
Dog, they was
trying to save money.
They were using PixArt, bro. Like,
they want to pay that $30 membership for Midjourney.
Wow, he didn't want to. Let me stop. I didn't care about the AI. It didn't mean a damn thing to me. But let's get right on into the show. Nick Fury, a shell of his former self. Like, when I was watching it, even before they said it, I was like, is he scared of something? Like, what is wrong with Nick Fury? Did you catch that before they even noticed it? I mean, before they even said anything about it, J. Coon Prime.
Absolutely. Like, you could definitely tell, especially with the fact they flash back to him being blipped. Like, put yourself in his shoes. That would screw with anybody. So, yeah, of course it changed him, and he's afraid now because of it, because what if that happens again?
King Greek, did you catch it, or did you have to wait for him to announce it?
I caught on to it a little bit later, but there were definitely visible signs to it when you just look at how Fury was carrying himself the whole episode, because it was like he wasn't fully there. And going back to what Jay Coon said, he's right. It falls back to the whole conversation that he was having with the one lady about how there's always somebody else. There's always somebody else above you. In his case, it was Thanos and Snap that can just completely just tear you apart and tear apart your whole world. So yeah, it took me a while, but yeah, I definitely did catch it.
I didn't catch that off.
Damn right.
I didn't catch that till just now. I'll father, bro. That's hilarious. I'm sorry. Of course Sadat would be behind. But Sadat, Nick Fury, a shell of his former self. Did you catch it, or did you studied film? I know you caught it. So go ahead and give me your thoughts on it.
I caught this. I caught it before the show even aired, because this is what Marvel does to all of their legacy characters. They did. We saw the same thing to Thor. He became a shell of his former self by overeating and playing Fortnite. We saw this with the Hulk, who's too scared to fight in the war against Thanos, and now starts dabbing and walking around in Hawaiian shirts at barbecues now. Like this is what Marvel does to their legacy characters now. They don't have any other creative way of telling interesting and compelling story anymore. They just was like, oh well, let's just deconstruct this character. Oh,
And
they're
rebuild them later.
they're a shell of their former self. They're scarred. They're traumatic. We're gonna forget all the character development we did before because now they're going to be sad. And in Nick Fury case, can barely even walk. He's just so old. He was just on that space station. Last time we saw him, he was up on the space station and kicking his feet up. Now he gets beamed down. He's limping like he's 100 years old. Like,
Right.
like this,
Right.
they missed a couple things leading up to that. I know people are trying to like, oh well, it was the blip. It affected everybody. Yeah, but this is Nick Fury. Like if Tom fucking Holland could get over it and go on vacation, I think Nick Fury could. Like, come on, that like Nick Fury hasn't dealt with apocalyptic scenario before. He's been doing this for how many years? He's dealt
at least the 80s with Carol Danvers, right?
I mean, not we're not even going to talk about all the Cold War stuff, but with Carol Danvers, he dealt with that alien invasion. You had all the stuff with Hydra, literally Hydra nearly killing him in the Winter Soldier thing, and find out that they've completely taken over S.H.I.E.L.D. You had the Chitauri and Loki. he saw his friend Coulson die, and then he saw his friend Coulson get brought back to life, and like he saw,
right.
There's always a bigger threat. I mean, Wanda. There's always something going on, and the fact that Nick Fury, they're trying to act like Nick Fury is all of a sudden so traumatized by the blip when they never showed him traumatized like that before. By the way, even by the blip, but now for the sake of the show, we have to act like Fury. Oh, now he's lost it.
The side of him we never see.
He can't walk. He can't walk anymore. He gets captured easily now. He's not 10 steps ahead anymore. Oh man, I'm just waiting for Nick Fury's young, diverse replacement to pop up in episode 3 to take his place.
J. Coon Prime. They are not using the source material for this show at all. Good idea or bad idea, in your personal opinion? This is all personal right now.
I really don't have an opinion on it, just simply out of the fact that Kevin Feige, at the conception of the MCU, said that we're going to do our own thing. Mm-hmm. And the moment he said that, I just went, okay. And I just rolled with it.
King, same question. Not using the source material, good or bad, in your personal opinion, sir?
I don't think I've cared about source material since Civil War. So I would say no.
Did you like Civil War? Oh shit!
Yeah.
I don't believe you, sir. Greek is like, you know what? I don't want to get cussed out on Twitter, so I'm gonna just say yeah right now. So, Dr. Gamer, no use of source material. Your thoughts on that, good sir? Personal, of course.
When you're doing an adaptation, it is important that you always respect the source material, and there's an art to adaptations. You want to be able to balance the original work, especially if the original work was really good, but you also want to make sure you're kind of doing your own thing and making changes when necessary to fit the medium that you're telling on, because a lot of stuff in comics wouldn't necessarily translate well to TV or film, so that's understandable. In this case, they definitely should have not done Secret Invasion if they weren't going to stick to the source material, because this should have been a movie. This should have been multiple things.
This should have been
leading up to a giant block. This should have been an Avengers level movie. This should have been a huge thing, and just to shove it on Disney Plus in 6 episodes. And like, I understand what they were going for. Like, obviously, I think this goes down to budget, but also the quality of the writers are hiring. They were like, okay, well, we're not going to do this big whole secret invasion thing like in the source material. So we're going to try to tell a serious Marvel show. It's going to be like Jason Bourne, but with aliens, and it was just not. it was just so far. I'm gonna give it another shot, but so far, pretty mid is what I've come to expect at this point from Disney Plus shows. They could have done this a lot better, and so far the decision to go drastically away from the source material hasn't really panned out. If this is kind of the best we have to look forward to.
Okay. For me, I'm going to agree with Sadat and BooTube at the same time. Because BooTube said, I mean, y'all both are saying the same thing. Respect the source material, but even though it's its own thing, let it be its own thing. But you cannot make a Secret Invasion Marvel TV show and not read Secret Invasion, because that literally changed the land. That was a moment in Marvel Comics that changed Marvel Comics forever. Like the whole "who do you trust" thing, that was some crazy ish. Like Spider-Woman becoming the queen. You know what I mean? Spider-Woman wasn't even a big character. They shoehorned her into the New Avengers, and she blew up then. And it was like, okay, this is time to. And it was an event. This doesn't seem, as much as I like Secret Invasion and what they're doing with it, because I am a fan of this show personally. Episode 1 was fire to me, but it's too small scaled in comparison to the actual Secret Invasion. Like, people are gonna say, well, Civil War was small scaled. Dog, Civil War wrecked the entire MCU that's why they lost against Thanos, because of Civil War. So it still had that same impact that the Civil War comic had. Yes, it was a smaller scale, but it was still a huge movie.
It was still a global event. Like Civil War dealt with literally the entire world having to come together to regulate superheroes because of the global destruction they were causing as a result of their activities. They had you had a major political figure get blown up in a bombing. Like this was a huge scale. This wasn't the multiverse scale, but this was Civil War was very much a large scale thing.
I can also kind of see why they didn't do it fully, because correct me if I'm wrong here, it's been a long time since I read Secret Invasion. The aftermath of Secret Invasion led to the rise of S.H.I.E.L.D. being dismantled and turning into Hammer being led by Norman Osborn, right? Which led to the Dark Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you anything, they don't have permission to use Osborn yet.
They used him in Spider-Man. He was in Spider-Man too. Oh, Spider-Man.
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
He
Norman
was?
Osborn. Green.
Not that one. An MCU Norman Osborn.
And I think he means at the time of Civil War, because that's when, if you wasn't going to bring him in as Spider-Man, that would have been a good time to bring him in.
Yeah, because like that was something that like the MCU has been kind of tap dancing around, especially with Spider-Man, because Sony has not fully given up the rights to that yet. That like we can have MJ, we can have May, but we cannot have Mary Jane, we cannot have Aunt May, we cannot have Gwen Stacy. So like certain characters we're not allowed to use yet.
You know what? Also, too, now that you say that, in No Way Home, when Norman was in the hospital, one of the lines was, "I don't even exist here. There's no such thing as Oscorp."
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. Like, damn. I never even put those two together like that, huh?
But
good stuff, bro.
It's just the fact that they've obviously very much changed, or very much different from the comic runs, but they still have much more interesting targets for this whole Secret Invasion thing, and they chose to have just inhabit some agents and just random refugees and homeless people, and like what is this?
All right, for lack of spoiler, because I don't know if everybody who's watching has seen
Man,
it.
it's Sunday. It's a show. It's a show. You give people like a week for a movie. If we're talking about a 20-minute, a 50-minute show in this case, just if you haven't watched it by now, too bad.
Damn.
I kind of agree.
No, yeah,
But-
Damn,
But then
well,
again, I've
the
never
frigid
cared
of
about
one of-
spoilers.
he's not wrong. The week is almost over. If you didn't see it, you might have come across a spoiler or two. Like it's only 40 minutes.
Like
You got 40 minutes
your
to spare
Twitter
every day.
blocking skills aren't that good.
It came out Wednesday morning. It's Sunday night. Get over it if you get spoiled.
You got
The
40 minutes to
frigid of
spare.
one of our favorite MCU leading ladies, even though she's not really a leading lady, she's just literally been everywhere, and she is that chick. Commander Hill is fridged, yo. Like, can we get 2.5 seconds for Commander Hill? Like, all right, Miss Maria, you gone. Like, how did y'all expect that? Exactly. Like, not her being murked, but did y'all expect them to kill off she's actually pretty well loved in the MCU. Did y'all expect them to kill off a beloved MCU character? And I'll start with you, Mr. J. Coon Prime.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I straight up did expect it because actors got to work, and actors have this lovely little penchant of not wanting to be typecasted, and she's already been typecasted twice. So yeah, sooner or later she's gonna get scrubbed off because she don't want to play the character no more.
I didn't know that she didn't want to play him either, but damn, like, wow. My dude, Greek, what you think? Were you expecting him to fridge anybody in this first episode?
The first episode, no, but I am happy about it because I understand how that may have come out. I promise.
Greek Higgs women confirmed.
I had a bad.
I was gonna go the
childhood.
other route, but I like that one better.
It's I like it because to me, I mean, you saw signs of it back in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but to me, this is like them saying that like they're fine with going down, some more darker and mature paths in the universe, killing off main characters and such. Having these stories feel more like they have legitimate stakes instead of everyone dying in Infinity War and coming back in the next movie.
The movie critic himself, Sadat the Gamer. Did you see that coming?
Did I see it? I didn't think they were going to kill off. I didn't think they'd kill her off in the first episode, but then again, I was glad that something interesting happened because I was pretty bored at that point. And when it comes to character deaths in the MCU, it's hard for me to even react anymore because they've kind of just made death meaningless. It's like, oh, this character is dead, and until they're not.
Much like the
Except for
comic.
Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Quicksilver, like the only character that stayed dead, bro. Like, damn.
He wasn't even supposed to die originally. It was supposed to be Hawkeye.
Damn.
That was more of a death of convenience because it's hard enough writing speedsters, and Marvel doesn't like to invest in good writers anymore. So they just had to get him out of there. But I'm like, okay, cool. They killed Maria Hill. I wonder how many episodes before she pops up again.
See, that would be the thing. What if she's fridged for real? You know what I mean? What if they put her in that ice box? Dog? Like that. That's crazy to me. But somebody in the chat, I think it was Spring, who said, "What if she turns out to be a Skrull?" I don't think that the Skrull leader would have killed one of his own people. Actually, he killed Tello's wife, so who knows? So what do you think? Could she be? Could when the show comes back on, could she transform into a Skrull? Fire guys,
I think it's possible, yeah, because just simply out of the fact that we saw Dude Man die at the beginning of the episode, and I was like, wow, they're going to do that already. And the moment he died, he shifted, and I was like,
well, I kind of saw that coming when him and Dude got into it because the dude was paranoid. I don't even know his name.
It was so obvious he was a Skrull. That was gonna be a Skrull. That was such a dumb scene, by the way. What just dog shit writing, but okay, I'm not gonna get into it. Yeah, we'll do it later.
King Green, same question for you, bro. I don't even know what the question was actually.
What if she was what if she turns
Oh yeah,
out to
what
be
if
a
she
Skrull?
is? Yeah, what if
What
she
if she's a
turns out to
Skrull?
be a Skrull? Like in the beginning of episode 2, what you think about that?
I hope not, because then I'm gonna start agreeing with Sadat wholeheartedly about the writing in the MCU being horrible. They better not cop out. Like, don't get me wrong, Maria Hill is cool, but they better not cop out and make her a Skrull just for the sake of keeping her
keep
around.
her alive. Yeah. Sadat, go ahead and finish this one off, bro.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all if they chickened out and left the door open, because that's what they do. they always leave the door open. This character's dead. Oh no, Coulson's dead. This is so sad. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. starring Phil Coulson. Oh no, Black Widow. Tony Stark. Oh, what we can time travel anytime we want. Like, okay. Oh, the multiverse. Who cares? Like they're always leaving the door open.
So, I mean, that ending would definitely left the door wide open for the beginning of that episode 2.
Yeah, because they didn't even show her die. For all we know, she's going to get some emergency medical help, and Fury would be like, we'll see her later, be like, I thought I lost you, and they'll have.
Didn't Fury die before? Didn't he play dead? And what was that? The Winter Soldier, huh?
Winter Soldier.
Yo, God dang it. Okay. Let's wrap this secret invasion. Y'all done pissed me off on this.
You asked the question.
I really did, but I didn't expect you two on the bottom to be like, yeah, that's trash writing. Mm-hmm. But anyway, how would you rate episode 1 of Secret Invasion out of 10, Jaycon Prime?
I never rate a first video past a 6 because it's the first first episode. Like, I give it time to build the plot. So
okay.
6.
6, the top of the line is 6 for you.
Mm-hmm.
King Greek, out of 10, what you got?
I would give it like I would give it like a solid 7, almost 8, and that's specifically just because I enjoyed seeing Fury and Talos together again, because I saw them in Captain Marvel. I love them in Captain Marvel. People hated that movie. I actually kind of liked it. I like seeing them two together. They have good chemistry, so they made that for me. So it's a good 7.
Out of 10, Sadat, what you got for me, bro?
5.5, 6. It was nice to have a episode of a Disney product for once that didn't have 20 forced one-liners. It was still awfully written, but but at least it didn't try to be overtly funny and fails miserably at it all the time.
I agree. I'm gonna give it a 7. I enjoyed it. I think it could have been better. What really stood out to me was the fridge scene, because it was completely unexpected for me. I'm thinking, but I don't know. I had to watch it twice.
Can we talk about how dumb the actual invasion is?
It's not even an invasion though. Like it's like a bunch of bums and a bunch of homeless people are gathered, and they got like 10 people who go out and cause destruction.
They're committing terror. They're waging war on Earth and committing all these terrorist attacks. And the reason we're given is because, hey, when we came to Earth and caused all that trouble, you promised us another planet, and for some reason, Captain Marvel was doing jack shit for 20 years.
What has she been doing for 20 years? Anyway,
they literally flew her,
cutting her hair.
She literally flew. That's the only thing that's changed in 20 years. She got the Karen hairstyle. Like the whole reason she wasn't on Earth for any of the major events, not for the Chitauri, not for Thanos, is because she was off in space doing important things. And the last time we saw her, she was flying away with the with the Skrull to help them find another planet. Then we
Right,
see
you
their work.
didn't take a bunch of scrolls with her.
That was literally the ending of the movie. The whole point was that she was specifically with her new powers taking them to a new place to live. 20 years later,
For 20 years?
they couldn't find a planet. They know the Guardians. They couldn't ask the Guardians, "Hey, the Guardians know about the scrolls. They literally sell scroll detectors at black markets where the Guardians hang out. They know about the scrolls. They could have found them. They could have found them a home if they were having so much trouble. And they seemed perfectly fine. They were working together with SHIELD in space and everything like that. But all of a sudden now they're so impatient that they, after the blip and Nick Fury apparently being different, they decide to wage war on the actual planet that's been helping them, as far as we know, for 20 years because they wouldn't give them a planet. And even then, you didn't have to give them a planet. If that was so hard to find a planet, they could have literally just did what they did with the Asgardians, sectioned off a part of the Earth, call it New
Skrullis or whatever?
Call it Skrull Kingdom or whatever. Have tourists come over, take pictures, and just call it a day.
That's kind of what they did. Like that's what when they zoned in on the Terminator chick, the mother of dragons. What's her name?
Amelia Clark.
Amelia Clark. And she was like, "Welcome to New Skrullis," right? And they're in a little toxic place in Russia or whatnot. I'm like, that's your sanctuary. What do you need to take over? It's 500 of y'all. You dig? Y'all not about to beat 6 billion humans with mutants and whatnot. Now we got aliens, we got superpowered beings coming out of nowhere, we got Eternals. You know what I'm saying? Like we got vampires, we got people old as dirt, like your boy Jon Snow, who, you know what I'm saying, the Black Knight and all that. Like, bro, y'all ain't about to win. Like, not 500 against 6 billion people,
and they had no reason to fight in the first place. Like they could have set them up on Earth. They definitely should have found a planet by now. Like, they've settled in secret, and even more reason. Okay, you could grow your own Skrull food. You're chilling. Call Skrull. Like, come on.
The worst part about it is they're so committed to having all the other nations fight each other and messing up the planet. They're purposely screwing up the place that they're trying to take over.
But they can screw it up as much as they want because that toxic, all of that, the nuclear bombs won't affect them at all. That was the point.
But that's not the point, dude. Like them being immune to the nuclear radiation means nothing if you don't have a house to live in.
Oh, they can rebuild.
What's even the motivation there? Like, why are you trying to make everybody fight each other? You're gonna make, once people know what they already do, what you're up to, now they're gonna go from trying to help you to trying to exterminate you. And now you're
humans too. They're racist as hell.
And then the Skrulls are gonna play victim. They're gonna try to set a blame card. We never felt welcomed here on Earth.
Skrull lives matter, bro. Skrull lives matter, bro. Like what?
And like, if you're going to use you have the power to become anyone. You could have literally just taken over some high level leadership. Be like, hey, you know what? We're gonna section off a section of the nation for these specific indigenous people. You can make up whatever excuse you need, and you could just live there chilling. You could have just had. There's so many ways where they could have gotten what they wanted, and what they're trying to do now makes no sense. Even if they were that mad about their inaction over these last 20 years of finding them a new planet, like find your own planet. Like you have so many options here, and you're just trying to attack the Earth. You're trying to kill innocent people for what?
Because you mad. Your little feelings is hurt. You got your little feelers hurt. That's cold.
Another thing, which makes all of this so much dumb, is because of She-Hulk. We seen in She-Hulk that superpowered people, elves, all of these different types of people are living out in public, and they're accepted somewhat. Wouldn't the same thing go? Like, why wouldn't that work for the Skrulls? Them living in the public. Why was that not a plot point instead of just having them hate the world for some reason?
People literally cosplay as Drax. They don't care about aliens.
There are people that like New Asgard is partly a tourist trap. You can see that it's partly a tourist trap. People go there and see horses with wings and all that stuff all the time. See, I hate Sadat because the more you think about this, the more you realize the plot point for this show was not fucking thought out. Really at all. Like, this was not thought out.
I can't with y'all. You know what? It's time to go. We got to do something different now. Y'all is killing me. Spider-Man 2 collector's edition and the delivery. We're gonna talk about that. Make sure you effers like the damn video. That's what y'all should be doing right now. Like this video.
What's shaking, people? It's your girl Spring. Sit back and relax. You are now rocking with the best. If you enjoy the content, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and share the video. It's an easy way to help the squad grow and give you more fire content, shows, and events. This is your DSG brand ambassador Spring, and you know the motto, let the good times roll.
All right, Spider-Man 2 Collector's Edition. Is anybody on this panel an owner of the Spider-Man 2 Collector's Edition? I'll start with you, J. Prime. Are you? Yes, sir.
Yes.
King Greek, yeah?
No.
And you are Sadat the Gamer?
I sure am.
How was that? How was that experience, sir? Trying to get that.
Not great.
No, not good.
I knew it wasn't going to be not good when they as soon as they announced that if you're in America you'd only be able to get it from PlayStation Direct. I knew it was going to be a complete shit show, and that's why I didn't plan on buying it at all. I just threw up a live stream, and I was just going to kind of watch the chaos unfold. You know, give people real-time updates and information about stock and everything, and maybe play a little Spider-Man Remastered. But then I got a $250 donation, and they were like, "Yo, go get the collector's edition." So I was like, "All right, I'll try." And it took 2 hours, but of constantly refreshing. But it finally happened.
2 hours. How long did it take you to get Spider-Man Collector's Edition? J-Shock. Yes. Oh my God. J. Coon Prime.
The disrespect.
No, I'm reading down here. This is what I was reading and why I said J-Shock last. So, but anyway.
I originally wasn't going to get it because I was DMing back and forth with Caboose and Jay Shockblast about it. And I was on the way to work and I was just kind of like, nah, screw it, whatever. I'm not going to bother with it. And then I had my phone in queue on the way to work. And by the time I got to work, I was in the store and I was like, okay, well, let me see if I can get this. It wouldn't take my card for some reason. So I get on the horn with my dad and he helps me out and it goes through, but I checked out as a guest. So I never got an email. I have an order number. I have an order confirmation, all that type of stuff. So I have that, but I never got an email confirmation. So I called Sony up and they were like, well, try to cancel out the order. And I'm like, I can't. I never got an email. Well, what's your account? I checked out as a guest. So like, I can give you the account, but you're not going to find anything on it because I checked out as a guest. And everything I told them just went in one ear and out the other. And he just did not listen to me. And I just got frustrated and went, look, you're not helping me at all. So I am just going to hang up now. Thanks for nothing. Click. So
you
I tell my
have it,
dad,
but you don't have it?
No, I have it. I just don't have an email.
Let the man cook. Damn.
Yeah, because there's more to this, and it
Go.
It ended with me getting back on the phone with Sony and yelling at them for an hour. I was like, okay, so Dad, keep an eye on this. Like, I'm gonna log into my account, and I'm gonna try this again. And this time, I get my mom on the phone, and she was like, "Yeah, we can help you out because they're not charging us right now. They're going to charge you at release." And I was like, "Okay, cool." It wouldn't take the card because it said the maximum number of units to be purchased had been done. And I'm like, the hell is this? Okay, well, Mom, it ain't working. Don't worry about it. She calls me up 5 minutes later. They charged my Discover card 3 times, $260 a pop. And I went, I'm calling Sony right now. So I get on the phone with them, and they were like, "Oh, we're not sure what happened." And I'm like, "Then make this go away now." Well, it shouldn't go anywhere. And then you're not hearing me. Make this go away now. If nothing went through, then stop those. And thankfully, they finally took care of that. And I'm like, this is the last time I'm calling you guys for anything. Y'all are useless.
Well, Jay Shockblast, speaking of Jay Shockblast, actually posted something on Twitter earlier in the week, and it had him a little concerned. He was wondering if you guys would get your product delivered on time. Now, since it's not coming with a physical disc, they could literally ship y'all code day before, day of, and y'all can still play, maybe not have your statues and whatnot. But what do you think about that? Do you think that the delivery will be on time, like day before or day of the release for Spider-Man 2 Collector's Edition, Jacob O'Brien?
Yeah, I think that'll happen, no problem, because they know their ass will be in humongously hot water if that stuff does not show up on time. And I will say this, and this comes from Destiny. I have never had a late delivery for a collector's edition when it advertised. It will be here the day before or the day of. I've generally got them the day before, something along those lines, because at the end of the day, they're sending you a code. They're sending you physical stuff that isn't a game disc. And because it's not a physical game disc, I really feel like there's a lot less headache involved there with people trying to break street gate and all that different type of shit. Because if you're just delivering a code, you can deliver that code months in advance and it won't matter because it's time gated.
Right.
So like the physical stuff like that, yeah, it'll show up on time. That I'm not worried about. Hell, I got my PS5 release day and that was sent right to my door. So
King Greek, on time, or what do you think, sir?
If I paid for something, I want my stuff on time.
Do you think that the people who did pay for it is going to get it on time is the question.
Not at all.
You think this is going to break the internet? I personally, I'm going to let Sadat answer last because he's going. I know he's going to crack me up, so I'm going to go ahead and answer too. I think there's going to be a lot of people pissed off on October 20th that don't have their statues, that didn't get their codes, that like when they said that you could not get it from GameStop, that it wasn't going to be there, I was like, people about this is going to break the internet on October 20th. There's going to be so many people happy playing the game, and then there's going to be people cussing the hell out of Sony. Sadat the Gamer, give me your thoughts on this. Same day or earlier, or you think it's going to be late or not, bro?
I'm sorry to say, Sony finessed all y'all. I made a video about this for the specific reason because I asked Insomniac when they tweeted about this because I was curious because Jay was complaining about this. He was concerned. Okay, because there were people complaining about the collector's edition not having a physical disc at all, which fine. Obviously, this collector's editions in general, it's not like a ETF or Bitcoin. You're not getting it because it's a good investment. You're getting it because you're a fan. But but even by that standard, obviously, this collector's edition is significantly less worth the price tag than the one for Spider-Man PS4. You're not getting a physical disc. You're not getting an art book, and you're not getting DLC. So, but you're paying basically $100 more. But it is what it is. You're a fan. You want it. But Jay was concerned that okay, because and I got this confirmation. He was concerned that it wouldn't get delivered the day before because if you pre-ordered it digitally, you can play it at midnight. If you buy it, if you go to GameStop, you can get it, pick it up whenever, launch it, you get it whenever, midnight, you can start playing. If you have the collector's edition, you can't start playing until whenever it shows up. Because even though it doesn't come with a physical copy of the game, it's a digital voucher. instead of emailing you the voucher, they put it in the box. So you can't play your digital copy of the game until it physically arrives
shows
at your door.
So
I did some digging because the Sonic didn't answer my question, and I saw some other people had similar issues, and they addressed Insomniac. Unfortunately, Insomniac responded to them, and that they pretty much gave me the full picture of what this is. Insomniac are completely hands off. They have no control over the distribution. They apparently don't have an ability to find out. Apparently, this is all in Sony's hands, I'm assuming. But everyone is not going to get the collector's edition at the same time. There was one person in particular. So PlayStation Direct says October 20th, and we're assuming there's no delay there. It should arrive sometime during the day on October 20th. But that still means you can't play the game until it arrives unless you buy it a second time, just for the digital. But Amazon is a different story. If you got it from Amazon, well, then you can't really necessarily count on it. There's one person in particular in Canada who saw that their estimated shipping date for their collector's edition, which they got from Amazon, was 4 days after launch, October 24th. And when they asked Insomniac about it, they just said, "Yeah, can't do nothing about that. You're gonna have to take that up with Amazon." So they're going to be people who are potentially waiting days for their collector's edition who won't be able to play the game unless they spend another $70 or $80 and just give their digital deluxe copy to someone else or something. Or like they literally set it up so that you have to buy the game twice on top of already paying over $200 for a collector's edition if you want to play the game at midnight, or if you're this person and it's not even going to arrive on launch day. Your only option is to wait and dodge spoilers or buy it again. And I think Sony did that very much on purpose because there's no reason in 2023 that you can't just email people a digital deluxe voucher. There's no logical reason that they could not have done this voucher. You can make the arc. That's the whole. That's supposed to be the whole reason you got rid of the physical copy, the physical edition, because we don't want people to potentially play it early. Okay, fine. Because
people are going to play it early anyway.
Yeah, but it's going to happen anyway. But you're trying to prevent it because the physical wouldn't be the same as the digital. But with a digital, you can guarantee that people can't play it early. So there's no reason why you couldn't have just sent people the voucher through email as soon as they were charged or as soon as the product shipped. There's no reason for it. There was no reason to put it inside the box. All you had to do for the sake of convenience was just like, all right, you pay for it, it's shipped, email, boom, done.
Bungie does the same thing.
Bungie does the same thing. There's no reason they couldn't have done the same thing. And I'm legitimately thinking that they did it because they wanted the scenario where they thought Spider-Man fans will be so down bad to play this game that they've been, content starved on for 2.5 years, and that they'd be willing to buy the game twice just so they can play it at launch like anybody else, which I think personally is extremely disrespectful to your players in general, but definitely to the players who supported the game so much that they were willing to spend over $230 during a recession just to support your game, and they're not even getting DLC. They're getting they're getting a statue. That might not come on. That's how much they care about your game. They give you $300 for a statue, and they're overlooking, and some of them are willing to overlook the fact that you're trying to finesse them by making them wait on a digital voucher of the game, because and some have straight up said they will they will buy it twice, especially if they're on a content creation side. And I think that's just kind of scummy that they didn't just for once be like, you know what, we know they're going to have a hard time just trying to get this thing because our website is not going to work that day. Let's just make it more convenient and reduce the amount of people that are going to be yelling at Insomniac and putting them in an awkward position. And let's just make it convenient. It's not there's no physical copy, so we're just going to email it to you. Done, no problem. But nope, they want to make it difficult. So unfortunately, you're going to have a bunch of people mad at Sony, but most of them are going to direct that anger directly towards Insomniac because it doesn't say Sony's Spider-Man 2. It says Marvel Spider-Man 2 by Insomniac Games right around the cover. So Aaron, James, all of them are getting yelled at on Twitter when people aren't getting their collector's editions on time, and when they're realizing, oh, everyone else is playing the game, and I have to wait for UPS because I spent $300 instead of just spending $80,
and getting my game,
in a timely manner.
Damn, yo!
Honestly, if I hadn't gotten it because of a donation, I wouldn't have even bothered. I would just pre-order the digital. I just gotten the digital deluxe and called it a day.
That's kind of what I did. I was like, once they said it wasn't going to be at GameStop and I couldn't physically go and pick it up on October 19 at 9:00 p.m. because that's how they let you do that, or October 20th when they open up at 10 o'clock or whatever. I was like, dude, you never know what happens with the mail. You know what I'm saying? The mail ain't been good since Trump was in office. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro.
With that being said, though, that's not on Sony.
I'm not saying it is. I'm saying that that's the risk that you're taking.
I mean, that's literally what happened with the Arkham collector's edition. The whole shipment went into the bottom of the ocean.
Shit, it did.
See what I'm saying?
Damn.
We never know what's gonna happen with that. So
that's why I didn't come out. That's why I didn't come out. The whole shipment fell off a ship.
I did not know about the bottom of the ocean. Damn.
Yeah, Jay was talking about on the podcast when he went up to WBA's Montreal. They had the collector's edition with the statue and the of the Batmobile and everything like that, and that was like one of the only ones because they have some made, but the whole shipment was just like
lost at sea.
Literally washed.
Damn.
Damn.
I'll say that, I really don't think there's going to be as much problem as everyone thinks. I think right now just paranoia and fear and uncertainty are kind of taking a hold because we're still months out from the release. Like I said, my PS5 ordered direct from Sony, got it day one.
Yeah, I think the vast
God of War
majority
Ragnarok Collector's Edition ordered direct from Sony, came to my door day one.
I think the vast majority of people are going to get it. Are going to get it on time. There's definitely going to be some people that don't get it on time, and we're going to hear about it. But most people.
That's what I'm. Yeah.
most people that
angry are going to be angry.
At least the people that got it for PlayStation Direct, they're probably going to get it sometime on the 20th to maybe 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
In the case of Jay Shockblast, his delivery doesn't come until like the evening. So there are going to be people. There are definitely going to be people annoyed that they're going to be sitting there, that they pay for the collector's edition, and they're going to be sitting there all day waiting while everyone else is enjoying Spider-Man.
No, in my luck, I'm going to be in that position anyway because it's like, October 20th. That I got to work. Yeah. So I'm going to have to sit there for 10 hours watching everybody play anyway.
I'm trying to do my setup so that I can, me and hopefully Jay can get a review copy. So we can avoid all this, but otherwise I'm going to have to just get it digital so that I can, if not, so I can just do a midnight stream.
Anytime you want to hook us up, let us know.
Bruh. Can I get the hookup?
I will happily kiss Insomniac's ass. They've more than earned it.
Moving on because one more question. I saw also on Twitter, because I like to use Twitter, that people are actually complaining about villain difficulty, saying that the villains from Spider-Man, PS4, PS5, and Miles Morales weren't that difficult. It's pretty much copy and paste villain fights. Do you guys agree? Do you want the villain difficulty to be raised, or is it fine the way it is? Jacob Prime.
I'd say like a slight hike in difficulty wouldn't hurt nothing. But then again, if you want the game to be hard, play on amazing.
There you go. King Greek.
Yeah, J. Kuhn answers for me. Pretty much.
Play it on
Like there's a
amazing.
difficulty setting for a reason. If you want it harder, play it on harder.
Wait, isn't Spectacular harder than Amazing?
I mean, I don't remember, man. I'm old. Leave me alone. Sitting here nitpicking me with your neck.
Hey,
I'm playing remastered. I'm playing remastered right now, so I think pretty sure Spectacular is the highest when on your first playthrough.
yeah, just play on the Spectacular or go play Elden Ring if you have a. If you have a
There's a Spider-Man mod in there somewhere.
If you have a if you want to be punished from boss fights that badly.
You want to answer that one, Sadat? Difficulty level, bro?
I think most of those people weren't even playing on the highest difficulty. They're they're just absolute posers. But for someone who actually does play Spider-Man on the highest difficulty, I think some enemy encounters are easier than others. There's definitely not blanket things like Shocker, pretty easy once you know the pattern. Kingpin, pretty super easy in the first game, but Tinkerer pretty challenging on the higher difficulty. So it literally just depends, like especially with some of those random enemy boss encounters with certain groups. Like if you're playing on the highest difficulty, you're gonna get a decent challenge. But for specifically the boss encounters, they should always be look for ways to improve that experience, especially when they're bringing in heavy hitters like Venom. So I expect them to bring out some new mechanics maybe, and yeah, sure, up the difficulty fine. But I thought the enemy difficulty was actually pretty well done in Miles Morales, and if they keep that trend, I'm not particularly worried about Spider-Man 2.
With game difficulty, I've always been a firm believer of like I'm not a fan of artificial difficulty, if that makes sense. Like, oh, it's harder because they one shot you. Like that's artificial difficulty. I like how God of War did it. God of War and Give Me God of War mode. Enemies reacted differently to certain things. So like certain things, like the best one I can come up with is Sigrun, the Queen of the Valkyries in the first God of War game. She would come up and she would like spread her wings and do something like this. And if you were watching her, the screen would flash and you would instantly die. You on lower difficulties could have Atreus fire an arrow at her and that would knock her out. On Give Me God of War, that didn't work. You had to take the shot yourself and throw the axe at her. And if you missed, that was it. So a difficulty where like certain things aren't going to work this time around, you got to come up with a different strategy, I think is a good route to go. Like say, for example, with the fight with Tinkerer and Miles Morales, you go to do the Venom Dash Punch. On hardest difficulty, she absorbs the total impact and fires back. That would be something I think would be really, really cool. Don't just make it harder because like, oh, they sneezed and you're dead.
Okay. Y'all good on Spider-Man? Anything else y'all want to say about the Spider? Y'all good?
Yeah, people need to stop bitching about water physics.
Yeah,
I saw that video, bro. I was just like, really? This is what.
And I was right about it not being Eddie.
Who's Venom? J. Kuhn Prime.
Harry Osborn.
Who's Venom? King Greek.
Craven.
Who's Venom? Sadat.
Norman is Venom. Eddie is Anti-Venom.
Okay. I watched your video actually. I think it was last week that you put out about and it. Never mind. Go watch Sadat the Gamer's videos if you haven't already. I'm pretty sure everybody who watches me watches him too. But go watch him because he got some good shit over there. Spider-Man is it. Let's wrap this up with Final Fantasy, and then I'm gonna let my dude J. Kuhn Prime talk about his experience with MK1. So let's talk about Final Fantasy. It's not really a whole lot I want to talk about, but goddamn, is this the biggest game that ever dropped? Like ever? You've played the game already. You had the early access. Talk to us about Final Fantasy and how big this game actually is.
It didn't strike me as particularly big. Are we talking about like in terms of
people loving the game, people talking about the game, people playing the game that hasn't even come out yet. It was like, I think when I looked this morning or yesterday morning, it was like something crazy on Twitch. Like it was like the top played game on Twitch, with concurrent viewers, bro.
It's Final Fantasy. It's always going to do that.
Yeah.
Also, every game is always going to peak on.
Yeah,
Twitch.
every Final Fantasy is going to make people go berserk.
No. Every game is not going to peak because right now 30,000 people are playing Final Fantasy and only 7K people are playing MK1, which is both of those games aren't out yet. So not playing but watching.
But
there's a difference though. MK1 is in beta, and then like there's only a handful of people.
It's not even a beta. It's a very limited online stress test.
And then with Final Fantasy, that's a full release, and that, like as was saying before,
is it drop yet? Did it drop yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
every game will always have its biggest peak on Twitch during the release phase.
Oh.
Now you might have some weird instances like the Taken King, for example, where that could get like a similar spike, if not higher, but those are rare. It's mostly during release. Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be very high right now.
I mean, I expected it to. It was definitely one of the most anticipated games coming in 2023. In terms of the impact so far, I think obviously Hogwarts Legacy was a much bigger game, but that had a lot of other factors boosting its conversation and market share. But I mean, it's a new Final Fantasy game, and in particular, it's a more accessible Final Fantasy game because the way they marketed it, it was like, oh, this is basically Azura's Wrath in Final Fantasy, and people got to play the demo for free, which further drove the hype because people were like, oh yeah, now I'm definitely all about that. So it definitely doesn't surprise me because, like I said in my review, it's definitely a much more accessible game in general. That seemed to be to the point where, like, if it's like kind of the anti-Soulsborne game, where it's like anyone can pick up this game and play it. It could be as easy as you want it to be. Like there was literally some person who was not watching, who was just pressing one button over and over again and just looking somewhere else, and they were able to just clear a boss encounter. So
I saw somebody similar doing that, eating a sandwich. Yeah,
with because of the rings. So yeah, depending on what rings you have equipped, you can make the game pretty much autopilot. So they definitely had definitely had that in mind. They got rid of the turn-based action style that Final Fantasy is mostly known for, which was also a barrier for a lot of people. Obviously, longtime fans of Final Fantasy are used to it, but going away from that and going for a more arcade action style and stripping down RPG elements definitely rubs some fans of the series the wrong way, especially because the RPG elements are pretty much non-existent at this point. But at the same time, it broadened the appeal,
right?
Because now you don't have to be a Souls sweat. You don't have to be a deep RPG expert in order to just jump into the game and just play through it, have fun. You know, there's only 2 difficulties, and the third one doesn't get unlocked until New Game Plus. So you can just jump in. The only complaint would be you sit in a lot of cutscenes. Some of them are really good. A lot of them are just kind of talking, and you can kind of just like go down, make yourself a drink, take a sandwich, come back up. They're still talking, so kind of deals. But then the action gets right back in, and it's extremely fun. I just posted a video today of me doing my Devil May Cry combos, so it's pretty cool.
And the hype is only going to get bigger too, because it's like all of this is going to ride straight into part 2 of the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so it's only
question for you guys who've played Final Fantasy games. I didn't play Final Fantasy games because of the turn-based, but I was watching the homie Fate Walker play, and it was arcade style. Is for the people who've played both styles of Final Fantasy, which do you like better? I'll start with you, Sadat the Gamer.
So my favorite. So I wasn't a huge Final Fantasy guy before. When I was younger, I was not into it until I got Final Fantasy X. That one, 10 and 10-2, were very much turn-based, but they are two of my, particularly 10. 10 in particular was one of my favorite games of all time. I still don't like turn-based. I definitely prefer especially the more Devil May Cry, Bayonetta style action, where it's very much focused on being stylish and combos. That appeals to me more. But I was able to get through it on Final Fantasy X because everything else around it was so good. I would pay $200. I would definitely pay $230 if Square Enix said they were doing a remake of Final Fantasy X and X-2 with the Final Fantasy 16 combat. I'll tell you that right now. But I got through it because Final Fantasy, one of the great things they do is they tell amazing stories, and it really sucks you in. Like, they bring you these interesting, compelling, complex characters, gorgeous visuals. The music is just on another level compared to pretty much every other video game series out there, especially in 10. So I didn't have too much trouble, just getting through it, and I played turn-based stuff before. I grew up on Pokemon, so it's not like I'd never done turn-based stuff, but generally I prefer non-real-time action over turn-based. But for the right game, you can definitely get over it.
Say that, man. King Greek, have you played any of the Final Fantasies?
I've gone back and played through a number of the Final Fantasies, and if I'm being honest, like, it's kind of because, like, my two favorite ones of the series are both 15 and 13. Because 13 was the one where I initially started, and 15 is probably the one where I spent the most time. And those are both different because 15 is more in the ARPG section, where 13 is real time, but it's purely turn-based. And I enjoyed both of those games all the same, just because, again, like, I'm not picky. I like both sides of the genre.
He's bi in that way.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm not confirming it. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
J. Coon Prime, your thoughts on the arcade style versus the turn-based as the new Final Fantasy game, sir?
I actually grew to really appreciate the hybrid system that they brought into 7 Remake, where, like, for the most part, it's real-time action, but going through the command system stops the combat, like freeze frame style, so you can kind of have a second to kind of plan your next move or do that healing that you honestly need to do, even though it's not guaranteed, because, like, if the enemy's like mid-swing and you stop it, you're still going to get hit. But I really feel like that was kind of the pinnacle of it, is the hybrid system they introduced in 7 Remake.
Okay. That was one of the things that even made me want, because I kind of want to play Final Fantasy now with the new, without the turn-based. I'm personally, turn-based is boring to me. Like, I enjoyed Midnight Suns because I knew the characters. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I could deal with this. But I don't think I would be able to rock with, like some wizard or warrior that I've never seen before, and I gotta wait until I get hit 13 times before I can swing. Nah, give me.
I forgot to tell you, I finally beat that.
Oh, Midnight Suns?
Yeah, I finally got around to beating that.
The base story or the DLC too?
Just the base story. I didn't bother with the DLC because,
Same.
like, man, I hated the card system.
Oh, really?
I really, because I'd get on a roll. I'd really get on a roll, and it's like, there's one guy left, and he has a sliver. And, like, we spit on his foot, and this fight is over, and you ran out of cards. And it's like,
skill issue. You just knock him into. You better knock him into something. What? That sounds like a skill issue. Let me stop. But yeah, I mean, like, just imagine Midnight Suns with fluid combat. That game would have been 10 times bigger than Avengers was.
It would have been Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could deal with that, though. I could deal with that, though.
I mean, I'd be down for Ultimate Alliance 4, sure.
I would be down for a real
That's on all
Ultimate Alliance
consoles.
3. I would be down for a real Ultimate Alliance 3 because what we got was I was mad.
I swear I am the only person that like did not hate that game.
I was mad at that game.
I
bro.
actively remember the first two, and I'm just kind of like, this
That-
is watered down X-Men Legends.
That
Like,
game was sadly a part of the Thanos era. The Infinity War just came out.
Yeah, it
Thanos
was.
was everywhere and in everything. Cartoons, books, that Thanos era, and it sucked because Ultimate Alliance 3 could have been a real good game. Also, they decided to make it a Switch only.
Yeah,
Which,
that
to
really
this day,
killed
I
me.
do not understand. Like, why
That
the
really
hell
killed
did they
me.
do that?
I couldn't tell you, good sir. I could not
Thank
tell
God
you.
emulation is a thing.
Okay?
What's up with
do
what's
me a
up with your
favor
ca-
before we
what's
get
up
out
with
of
your
here.
camera, Doom?
What's wrong with it?
That
It's
ain't
like-
a camera issue. That's a connection issue.
Looks like you're
Oh.
looks like you're in the 90s and we're in the HD era.
Does
Yeah,
it still look like
that's a
that?
bit rate connection thing.
Yeah,
don't
that might
stress it.
Yeah, it might be a connection there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well it's kind of crazy outside right now, so it
Yeah.
might just be a
Look,
connection.
you look,
thing.
look, look like those tape delay NBA games.
You look like you're coming at us live from E-Bomb's world.
You got me wanting to look at it and see what the hell's going on now. Shit. J. Cone Prime, talk to us about your experience with MK1, good sir.
Mortal Kombat 1 was pretty much riding right off the coattails of that video I made. It is official. Fight Father is back. Mortal Kombat 1 is the first true tag fighter NetherRealm has ever made. And I absolutely love it. A lot of people are kind of getting on it. And there's still plenty of time to change things up, and they are listening to our criticisms, thankfully. Movement is very, very slow. It's very deliberate. Like, you almost have to buy an engagement ring to commit to your dash. It's that slow. Walk speed, ironically, kind of fast though. But I have never seen a game move this slow, have this much freedom for combo potential. And maybe that was their game plan. Like, combos are really, really fast, but movement is very slow, and you got to kind of be tactical about it. I will say this, though. It looks amazing on Twitch because of how slow it is. It almost never gets pixelated on screen. Like, I had, like, a few people like, dude, MK looks really good, especially when you're watching it on stream. And I'm like, hey, thumbs up. Let them know.
Well, I watched you play for a little while yesterday, and you were in the middle of whipping some dude's ass with Sub-Zero. He had Sub-Zero, and you had like Liu Kang, I think it was.
Yeah.
And
Fire God Liu Kang.
I was in J. Kun stream too, watching him. He got. I came in when he got cooked though.
Oh yeah, So last night we ran into like a longtime pro player named Hayate, and he is a guy that like fighting games is all he does. He never plays anything different. And I'm on a 2+ year sabbatical from fighting games, so I come back, match make up with him. I get like half his health bar down, and then he just rolled me like 5 rounds straight. I was like, yeah, I expected as much. But then I proceeded to cook everybody else for the next 2 hours. So like, it was a learning experience.
That's when I came in. You was on cook mode. It was like, check this finisher out. If you think that one was gross, blowing people, burning.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say that to everybody from the forbidden game we don't talk about no more. If this is your first time, like, welcome to Mortal Kombat. You must be new here. I hope you have a strong stomach. Like,
I mean, I'm old school. I played Mortal Kombat 1 on the arcade game when you had to put quarters in that mother. You know what I'm saying? So I trust me, I'm good with the it's just so HD. It's so high definition. It's so
the sound too. The sound.
You hear the bones cracking. You hear the flesh tearing. It was pretty gross, to be honest with you, but it was cool gross. I was just like, yeah, that's nasty. You just ripped this dude's spine out, looked at it, licked the blood off, threw it on the ground, and was like, burn, bitch, burn. I was like, oh, that's nasty.
What
game
were you watching?
I'm like,
yo. I was just thinking of, oh man, can't show that on YouTube. Demonetized.
So I'm working on the MK1 videos tomorrow, and every single time I do an X-ray, every single time I do a fatality, it's just going to zoom in on my face, just going.
Smart, because YouTube ain't bro. I put a clip of Overwatch on YouTube, which y'all know Overwatch don't have no blood, no any.
Yeah,
They straight was like, yeah, this is too violent. We gonna have to take away all your monetization for this video. I was like, why? Please, can y'all review this?
Yeah. But this weekend is an online stress test. They put out a limited amount of codes to deliberately make us try to overload the server. Official beta is in August, and anyone who pre-ordered will get instant access to that beta. The emails will be sent out in August, with full release coming September 20th. Anyone with the deluxe or collector's edition, like myself, will get, I believe, a week early access.
Ooh.
All right,
So, yeah.
cool. Are you up in MK1 King Greek?
No.
He don't
Not
want
just
to
a game, or
He's afraid he'll eventually run into me.
Called you out.
Okay,
Called you out.
Okay,
Oh,
hold
you're
on,
up,
wait.
Rick.
Hold on, wait. First off, wait, no, hold up. First off, this one we not go. I ain't no punk. This one we not. This one we not going DJ.
Good. I'm glad you're not a punk. Come see
It
me.
is.
Oh, he said pull up. He said pull up there.
Mama
It's
ain't
not-
raised no bitch. Bring it.
Oh, what?
He said he gonna snatch. He said he gonna snatch all three. Yes. He said-
I am
Look.
old school FGC.
Look,
Like,
okay, look.
I will
Take
put
a
you
look.
in your place.
He said,
Look, hear me.
Ooh, he
Look,
said he's gonna put you
look.
on the back of the bus. Ooh,
Hear me when I say this.
Sir,
I like fighting. Look,
sir.
look. Hear me when I say this. I like fighting. Look, I like fighting games. I'm cool with them. I don't run from. There's no hoe in my blood. I don't run from challenges. But me and learning fighting games don't work. I can remember specials and certain things like that pretty easily. However, combos come in the heat of the moment, I get flustered and that just all breaks. That's the reason I didn't get Street Fighter. I really wanted to get Street Fighter, but I didn't feel like putting the time back in to learn it, especially when I'm trying to do a bunch of other stuff right now. So for that reason, I'm not getting Mortal Kombat.
do people actually play Street Fighter for anything other than staring at Cammy and Chun-Li mods?
I don't think so.
Google
Well, I mean,
Capcom Pro
well-
Tour.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that $1 million prize pool.
Yeah,
Besides-
like there's money to be had.
Besides,
Yeah,
besides the sweats, literally all the videos I see
Oh, now
are
we're sweats. Okay.
are Chun-Li, Cammy, and Jury mods.
Yeah, it's kind of sad actually that's what people are playing Street Fighter for,
That's
bro.
literally
Like,
all, that's
no,
literally all I see. That's
I'm
literally all
gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this to every single casual in the world. Call me a sweat, call me a try hard. That's
Sweat,
fine.
try hard.
Okay. Spoken
Sweaty
like
try
someone
hard.
who doesn't try hard enough.
oh,
Ooh,
oh,
yeah, he come-
30K subs down there. I think he tries a lot, bro.
30K. How dare you?
I was about to
You
say,
higher
I'm
than
pretty sure
30K
he's a little
now?
higher than that.
What do you got now,
46, my dude.
bro? I don't keep up. I'm sorry. Damn. Last time I looked, it said 30. Damn it. Now it's 46.
I was
Shit,
like,
that could have happened overnight. I don't know.
that was like a month ago. Come on, keep
Yeah.
up.
I'll give respect where credit, like I'll
No,
give credit where
I'm not
credit
gonna
is due.
give-
Like anything involving Spider-Man, I will happily tip the hat to Sadat. Fighting games are my territory, though.
Nah, I'll definitely run your fade in Demon Slayer.
I'll run the fade on Chloride. What's up?
So that
Who
still
down?
hasn't fought me in Demon Slayer.
I mean,
I've been
until you're
trying to
ready
fight
see
Sadat
me
for a
in,
while.
I went-
Overcooked, like I don't want to hear it.
I was trying to save King Grease ego.
No, Demon Slayer. I'm confident I can embarrass Sadat in. That's just me.
I
I'm
don't
ca-
play PvP
I'm ca-
games except for
Yeah.
Overwatch. So yeah.
I generally don't play PvP games.
Yo, Doom versus Sabat 1v1.
So at the show ends, thank you guys for tuning in. Y'all could have been anywhere on the planet, but you were here rocking with us. So Dot, tell them where they can find you at, bro.
You could find me at youtube.com/Sadat the Gamer. Most of you probably have by now, so go follow me and Jay Shockblast and sometimes Casual Avenger when he's not eating deep dish on the After Show podcast, the best new podcast on YouTube. We stream live every Friday, unless something happens, at 8 p.m. Easterns. We used to stream on both YouTube and Twitch at the same time, but Twitch is trying to destroy itself, so we're just doing YouTube for now until we find another platform. Probably going to figure out a way to simul stream on Kick.
Okay. King Greek, thank you for coming through. Tell the people where they can find you at, bro.
You guys can find me on both YouTube and Twitter at King Greek, and you can find me on Twitch at King Greek with 3 lowercase L's because somebody else is taking my name and I cannot get that.
Damn, that sucks. J. Kun Prime, you're here every week, but let the people know where they can find you at when you're not here, sir.
You can find me Twitter, Kick, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok at J. Kun Prime. You can also find King Greek in my chat at Twitch. J. Kun Prime. And you will occasionally find Sadat in my chat at Twitch at J. Kun Prime. And you will see me every Friday in his chat at youtube.com/SadatTheGamer.
No, it's at After Show Podcast, right? Or did y'all not? That's what do y'all stream from now, Sadat?
After Show Podcast.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
We moved over to that. We moved over to that channel. We skipped Friday because I wasn't feeling well and I slept through my alarm. But we'll be back. We'll be back next Friday.
I'm not even gonna hate. I love it when that happens. Sleeping through the alarm is wonderful until you realize you did it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh shit.
Thank y'all again, chat, for tuning in. Again, y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all decided to come rock with the best, and we greatly appreciate it. So, with all of that said, les vont ton rouler, which means
let the good times roll.
Peace out, people.
What's shaking, people? It's your boy Doomkiller HD. Sit back and relax. You are now rocking with the best. Let's go! It's the weekly wrap up where we give you the news, break it down bite size so it's easier to consume. Discussing the hottest game that's out of what's coming soon. Is it real or is rumor? Homie, that's up to you. Fire or trash reaction, live viewers call in. No cap conversation, we going all in. It's the weekly wrap up, so enjoy the show. You not